Hi, welcome to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host, Ed Smith. Today we're going to take a look at a league called Balls Deep 12 Team. So it's a 12 team league. It started the summer of 2020. Just kind of some observations about this league before I get into the scoring. I noticed I drafted out of the 7 spot, and obviously in a snake draft. And then the rookie draft 2020 was separate and it was inverse. So I picked out of the 6 spot. And I just added up. I think I made 8 trades out of my draft spot in the startup draft, and then no trades in the rookie draft. But that'll kind of come into play as you see the draft capital that I maneuvered. So I actually started off with a little bit of weaker team, and then made some trades. I guess got really trade happy here, and what it's become is this really young team that we have. So looking at what we have is 1 point PPR and then a 1.5 point PPR for the tight end on the premium, so 50% increase there. We have 1 quarterback, 1 super flex, 2 running back, 3 receiver, 1 tight end, and then 3 flex for 11 starters. 14 bench, 3 taxi, and 4 IR. So only 21 spots there, and so a total of 32 players possible, with 4 being the IR. So not a ton of room to maneuver here with things. Now, do you think the quarterback is still a place to monopolize? But with it being 1 quarterback, 1 super flex, it's not quite as important. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we're going to build this team coming up. But currently did monopolize the quarterback position and have some what I would call low end guys starting, and we'll look to keep getting better and better as far as the quality goes, here. But have a lot of draft capital to do a lot of things with. So, when we finished the season, this year I guess it's going to be fourth. So I guess 2 4th rounds. So I must have finished ninth both years. So kind of stayed stagnant. Finished ninth. This will be year 3, so would like to win this year with what we have. So probably need to make some progressional moves here this year to solidify the team, if you will, and get it to a place where we can win. Looking at the quarterback room, we have Zach Wilson and Deshaun Watson, and then Jameis Winston, Tua, Mac Jones, Mills, all starters. So we've got 2, 4, 5, 6 starting quarterbacks out of the 32, and then we have Love, Huntley, Minshew, Locke, and Trubisky. All at different levels have the ability to get, and Mond, all have the ability to get traded, and even if 2 of those to make 8 become starting quarterbacks at some point during the year, where we can withstand injuries with no trouble, but we're still beginning to monopolize the quarterback rooms, and kind of maybe dropping the guys that aren't starting quarterbacks, but we're able to monopolize those quarterback rooms. The running back position, we're young, not very much depth here, and so we'll probably look to address that in the draft with the picks that we have if they drop to us. Otherwise, we'll maneuver some trades, and it looks like there's the ability to trade here in this league, at a pretty high level. So we'll be able to manipulate with our strengths and get the players that we need to at least be competitive with 2 running backs starting. And we start with Michael Carter, so currently that's a good starting running back. Now, if they draft a running back, that may fall off the wayside a little bit, but we'll kind of watch the draft carefully to see if that's going to be a player. And then after that, it drops off with Foreman, Jarrett Patterson, Sermon, Herbert, Nwangwu, and Deion Jackson. You guys know that I'm a Deion Jackson and Jarrett Patterson fan, so we kind of hold those guys as security blankets for now. The receiver room, ups and downs with this receiver room. But we start 3. Very happy with Chase, Jamar Chase. That's a good number 1. Terry McLaurin is a number 2. Pretty happy with the 1 and 2. Without injuries, we're very happy with where these 2 guys are, with where they are on their team. Zay Jones is my number 3. KJ Hamler with an upgrade from Russell Wilson, number 4. Lil Jordan Humphrey and Mims kind of just also rans and depth pieces, and don't really count on any of that for anything. Need to upgrade 3 and 4. Obviously, if Zay Jones is the 5 and Hamler is the 6, I feel a lot better with how things are. Getting 2 more receivers. But as you notice here in the draft, you'll see we'll have some opportunity. We start 1 tight end. There's only a 50% premium on the tight end. So we have Hockenson, Knox, and we do have Bates. And so we may even pare that down to 2, depending on how things go here this year and what what happens with some of what we have. But feel good about having Hockenson in this draft or in this league as a top 12, probably a top 5 option at tight end. So really feel good there. So where I view this team weak is at the running back position. But let's look at the draft and what we have. So now I did say I want to win this year, right? But we do next year have 3 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 23. And then in 24 we have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. So we do have future draft capital. So we already have that and kind of have some backup plans if we finish in 5th place and don't win this year. We just get a little better, but we don't win. We're still okay because we have a good shot at, having some early picks to really change the fortunes next year, if you will. Now, looking at what we have here in the first round, we have a lot of draft capital this year. So we have pick 2, pick 4, pick 5, pick 10, pick 11, pick 12. And then in the second round, we have even more. We have 14, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24. In the third round, 26, 28, 35. In the fourth round, 40, 47. In the fifth round, 52, 54. But let's concentrate just on that top 30. And I'd actually even say pick 35 being, one of my top 30 players because people will reach again. But if you start to look at that, we've got 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, and 3 for 16 picks in the top 35. But really, if I get 16 of my top 30 players off the board, I'm going to be able to make some serious noise on this team of what we actually have and what we can go. Now, without pick 1, right? We're going to assume that possibly is going to be Hall, the running back, which, as you guys see, we really need running backs, right? We need running backs to make this team compete. But let's just say it is Hall that goes number 1, and we pull in and pick a quarterback here. Now we're taking our quarterback room from 6 starters to 7 for sure. Like all of a sudden, we've got 7 bona fide starting quarterbacks. So we went from 6 to 4. Now, pick 3, we're kind of beginning to force because we have pick 4 and 5. We're forcing somebody to either trade up to pick 3 and get a quarterback, or if they take another running back or the top receiver, right? Now they've created this situation that if we see that there's 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, that we just pop them back and forth, and now we have 9 starting quarterbacks with 4 and 5. If they take a quarterback 1 and quarterback 3, well, that's fine because that means we get Hall. And so then we fixed our running back problem just right away. And so it really doesn't matter how they play this. If we have people come up and get quarterbacks, that's fine in those spots. Or if we just take the 3 quarterbacks and then we maybe even have to wait till next year if nobody wants to trade us our value on the quarterbacks and just take the running backs next year with the 3 firsts. But we're in a position where they're not going to let us, honestly, they won't let us get to where we have 15 starting quarterbacks of a 32. Like, at some point, we're just going to have the whole thing, and they'll either have to play or we'll control who wins the league at a high level just with the amount of draft picks we have. So, with those 3 top 5 picks, that's going to control things. Now, remember when I said I wanted to improve the receiver room with pick 10, 11, 12? Those are probably receiver picks. They're probably receiver picks. And out of those 3, I may get 2, maybe only get 1. But when you start adding in 14, 16, 17, 18, maybe those are all receiver picks too. And if we start having 7 receivers, I'm probably going to get 2. Now, let's say I throw some running backs in there just because the running backs are falling and there's some of those. And running back 4, 5, and 6 maybe we take. We might get 1 or 2 out of there that are starters if we just pop the running backs. If maybe the receivers go in the picks that we don't have, like at the 6, 7, 8, 9, if that's all receivers and now it's receiver 5 at pick 10, well then that means the running backs fell to us. I don't think they'll let that happen in this league. I think they'll try to make sure that I don't get running backs because it'll make us play it out a little bit longer. But let's just say hypothetically they do. And, we might be able to pop a running back out of those 3 picks at 10, 11, and 12. And, it's a dart throw, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It could be Keyshawn Vaughn, or it could be Michael Carter. Or it could be, if you take 2 of the 3, maybe you take Michael Carter and you take Troy Sermon. That's okay. only one has to hit, and you see that that's what I did last year. I took both Carter and Sermon, late first, early second, and one of them was okay, and one of them wasn't. It's fine. And so that's kind of it. Like you don't have to hit on everything. You just kind of hit on something. And I really view this team, two receivers, two running backs away from really being a juggernaut. But that doesn't mean I have to draft them. Even though there's so much draft capital here, it doesn't mean I have to draft them. I can do that by creating a frenzy at the quarterback position because it's where we've already started. So that's kind of the outlook for this team. I mean, I feel very confident with Hockenson and Knox as my tight ends and with Bates behind it. That if you're gonna let me have Trey McBride, I'll take him, and I'll keep hitting the tight end room hard. But even if you don't, it's okay. Like I don't feel like this pressing need that I have to have McBride because I feel like Hockenson and Knox will get it done for me. But with those 7 picks in the second round, where the McBride pick probably goes, unless he creeps into the first round, which I have those picks too. It's pretty much if you're gonna let me have him at value, I'm gonna take him because I have enough there that I can cover it up, and I'll look at what the other people have when we get closer to the draft and what they're gonna pick. And I usually try to maneuver through the draft board based on what I think other people are going to do. And, I know some of my league mates may watch this video, and that's okay because I feel like I've got so much draft capital that I really control the outcome of the draft in a high way. So, love to hear your comments. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and let me know what you think of this team. Do you think the team wins in 2022? Do you think it takes till year 4 to really get to a winning point? I mean, I think a lot has to do with what running backs we are able to draft. But we're not going to force the issue on the running back room here. With those early picks, we're going to really try to bang out the quarterbacks that have starting jobs and make sure that we don't give away that room. And maybe somebody's going to opt to trade up. Maybe somebody will say, hey, I want to come up and get that number 4 pick and take a quarterback, and that means we'll slot in there to 6, 7, or 8 and into a running back spot. So that could happen as well if we can pick up another first round in 2023. All of a sudden now we have 4 first round picks, and so now we're hedging the bets a little bit about being able to control this for a longer period of time and really getting wins as well. So look forward to hearing your thoughts, your comments, and let me know what you think. Again, my name is Ed Smith with the Fantasy Football Clown Show.